we begin Sefer Vayikra, we're told of all of the karbanos that were brought in the Mishkan and the Beis Hamikdash. We tend to look at karbanos as being very Bein Adam LaMakom focused. It's about the individual and his relationship with God as he brings karbanos in the Mishkan. But as we read through the Parsha, and particularly as we get to the end and read about the Korban Asham, the Torah tries to convey to us that karbanos are as much about Bein Adam LaChavero as they are Bein Adam LaMakom. In the last Korban in this week's Parsha, the Korban Asham, we're told about a person who steals and lies in Beis Din, denies that he did anything wrong. And after he's caught, after he's found to be guilty, the person doesn't only have responsibility to pay back to the person he stole from, but he also has a responsibility to bring a Korban Asham in the Mishkan to atone for the sin that he's guilty of. Interestingly enough, the order with which the Torah describes the process of tshuva for this individual is extremely important. The Torah tells us V'hesheves hagzela asher gazal, that he has a responsibility to return that which he stole, and only then v'hevies ashamo. Only after he has resolved his responsibility to the other person, to the victim, only then can he move on to the Beis Hamikdash and bring his karban. The Svarno in this week's Parsha quotes the Gemara in Bava Kama, and the Gemara says, Hevi es ashamo ad shelo hevi gzelo lo yatsa, that if a person brings his karban asham prior to returning that which he stole from his fellow man, he will not fulfill his obligation of bringing the asham. First, we have to resolve our Bein Adam LaChavero issues before we can begin to address our Bein Adam LaMakom. In fact, this is a message that's very common in the prophecies of Yeshaya Hanavi. He says, Lama li rozivchechem yomar Hashem. God tells the Jewish people, why do you continue to bring karbanos? Why are you so convinced that the karbanos that you bring can compensate for the other areas where you continue to be deficient? If you want your karbanos to be meaningful, they need to come in a context of a community, of a people that are committed to each other and not only committed to God. As we begin Sefer Vayikra this week, it's important to remember that the karbanos are not limited to Bein Adam LaMakom. Karbanos are a reflection of the tzibur as well. And as we need to bring those karbanos to the Beis Hamikdash, we also have to remember to unite as a nation, so that the karbanos reflect on an appropriate synthesis between Bein Adam LaChavero and Bein Adam LaMakom. Shabbat Shalom.
ושוכנתי בסוד בני ישראל ולילה יזועים ושם ישראל ושוכנתי בסוד בני ישראל ולילה יזועים ושם ישראל ושוכנתי בסוד בני ישראל ולילה יזועים ושם